Yo, what's going down? It's your boy, the young boss hog, Natomas Slimm, and we got the talented and beautiful voice chopping up gang with us today. How you doing, voice? What's good with you?
I'm doing pretty well. Just trying to start my day off positive.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you. You told me a little earlier that you started off with a little bit of a meditation.
Oh, yes, very much needed. Just got to always, build your spirit and your strength always.
Do you do that every morning? Is that something you do every morning, or every now and then, or
I
whenever you
try to.
feel there's too much going on that you just gotta, let your mind go?
Yeah, usually I start off with a good morning to everybody in the household. And as long as it's a type of a positivity, it gets me going in the thought. It sets my mindset on, okay, let me meditate on something that's going to be positive for me to feel I've achieved something, at the start of my day. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's needed almost every morning. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. How long have you been doing that?
Um, I want to say since I want to say since maybe about 20, maybe the middle of 2018, because I mean, we're all learning every day, so
Yeah.
things, is a shock that it could be new to me, and I'm 29 years old. So like I'm really thinking to myself, like, that's something that I really should start doing, because I was doing like Bible study and things like that,
Mm.
but I wasn't projecting enough positivity to start my day. And I think that's when I started the middle of 2018. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So for those who don't really know whom you are, give people a little background of who you are, where you're from, how you got into music, just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am born and raised in Sacramento. I've lived in South Sac most of my life. I have moved back and forth from uh, east to south, just different. I have a big family. I started singing at the age of 5, but excuse me, I didn't really know that I had a voice until I was 10 years old. Um, so yeah, I just started to write around, I want to say 10, 11, 12. And I just glued myself to the TV watching BET and Soul Train, Cedar's World, and stuff like that. So I'm old school.
Good old
Um,
Cedar's World. Well, she's just
Cedar's
a
World.
animated cartoon,
Yeah.
hella ratchet ass cartoon. Oh man, Cedar's World. I remember that.
I couldn't believe how old school I was looking back at the fact that I really started there watching BTK and just a lot of artists, Common and what's her name? She went to jail. I just forgot her name. I used to say she was my favorite singer all the time. She was a part of the was it the Black Eyed Peas? No, it wasn't the Black Eyed Peas. Lauren Hill. God, I'm
Oh, Lauren
so
Hill.
dumb.
Yeah.
I feel so dumb.
Part of the Fugees. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Huge.
LP.
That's what she was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Glued myself to the TV, watching all that. So, it. I want to say that's where it grew. But in reality, my mom used to walk around the house cleaning up, listening to music, trying to sing. So that's where I originally got it from, my mother. And then my father, he was a producer and rapper back in his time.
Okay. So you just been around music a whole lot. So how'd you get the name Voice?
I actually came up with that when I was in junior high. Was it junior? It was no, yeah, it was junior high. It was junior high. So I was going to the school called ECI, which wasn't really much of a school. It was like a charter school, and a lot of my friends there did music, and they had these cool names, and nobody used their first name for their music, and I'm like, I don't have a name, I'm just Danette Wilson, so I'm like, I always thought about that, but it didn't influence me until that time. I've been through so many different experiences as a child, some I shouldn't have, and some that you know made me stronger, and just trying to like find myself is what made me think of to have a voice. The way that I grew up, you know, I couldn't always speak up for myself. And I had to learn that getting older, like having to like put a tiny voice on just to feel like I'm not disrespecting anybody and stuff like that, you know. But also just having my own life experiences as I'm growing, it was mainly to have a voice. And I'm like, how could I make that unique? And then I put two eyes on it. So that's where I got voice from. I thought long and hard, like what means a lot to me. The fact that I couldn't speak up and now I can, because whatever I write about in my music, anybody can, you know, it's easy for people to understand me as a person and also to relate and also to feel influenced or touched by whatever I'm saying, whether it's ratchet or, you know, righteous, ratchet or right, don't matter.
So in regards to your music, so is your music more of a reflection of how, you know, you grew up or how you lived, or is it more of a moment in time where it's the vibe and the sound that you're just trying to go for? So how do you go into your writing and your songs?
Yeah, so okay, so the beginning of writing, like when I did my first song, it was a freestyle. Don't ask me to freestyle because I don't know how to.
Sway.
But
I don't you ain't got a freestyle for me. I ain't sway. I ain't sway. I ain't
it
got
was
that for
a
yet.
freestyle, and I was going through a lot in my household, in my family, and I was about 10 years old. And so that was personally towards how I grew up. But then as I started to take writing seriously, and I'm like, a song is a song no matter what, I can just feel it in the moment, or I can just think of it as an imagination because I have an imagination. And that's what made me start, you know, distancing myself from what I grew up from. Because honestly, how I grew up, I've wanted to get away a lot. I wanted to escape reality. So as I got older and finally putting out my first album in 2016 on SoundCloud, that was more so of, yeah, the moment and me as a woman and expressing like my sexuality and, you know, that type of stuff. I'm grown now, so I could talk about this one.
So you bring up you know how you grew up. So how did you grow up? How did your you know, you growing up in your life situations influence, you know, what you put out on wax in your music?
Well, it was definitely a struggle for my mother, having 3 jobs and 6 kids. Um, Me, my older sister, my brother, we have, you know, our dad, and then my little sister and my 2 little brothers, they have their dad, and then their dad has kids, and my dad has kids. And so it was like we were all kind of back and forth growing up together, and just a bunch of things that we experienced, like, you know, tension in the household and growing up feeling like we had different worth, or we were individually in, you know, more or less important than the other. Like it was definitely a struggle. Like my grandmother was the one who was into church, always made us go to church every Sunday. But my mother, it was like she wanted to, you know, keep us in the house. And most of those times, because we felt kept, we would sneak out and we would, you know, run the streets like kids. And we just got into a lot, you know. I feel like I started, you know, being rebellious at a very young age because of what I was experiencing in the household. Just, you know, so it was pretty rough. But all in all, I feel like, you know, it did open my eyes to maturity faster. So.
Okay. So in regards to your music, you were signed to Sick With It, right?
I was definitely signed to Sick Wid It, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, are you still signed to Sick With It?
Not at this time. The contract has ended.
Okay. So how did you link up with 40 to be part of Sick With It?
Yeah, so There was a indie artist record label, if I can describe it as that. That's how it was described to me, locally in Sacramento. Um, and they were just off of, I want to say they were just off of Florent, and they went by Knockdown Music. Now, I knew a couple of friends who was signed to this label and also had connections with this.
Knockdown. That's with what JM made him look, right? What was
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah. His father owned
okay.
the record label.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I heard of them. I know JM. There was some other folks I knew from there too. But yeah, sorry,
Mhm.
I didn't mean to cut you off. My fault.
Oh no, no, you're fine.
My bad.
Um, but yeah, so um, I was told about this event that they were throwing in the um, the knockdown headquarters or whatever you call it. So I went, and it was definitely an experience to feel like I was soaking in a lot of um, just culture, like Sacramento culture. I felt like I've never seen so much art in Sacramento, and it made me fall in love. Like I wanted to come back. Like I don't know what y'all doing here, but I want a piece of it. Like I want to learn. Like I've moved on my own for so long that um, you know I don't know anything about industry. I don't know, you know, anything about marketing, promoting, and connecting and things like that. I just am an open person and social. So when I got in this setting and I saw how amazing it was, they had just so many different things going on within this event. It just made me want to come back, and everybody was in the CEO's ear about me, like, hey, you should sit down with this artist. She's dope, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't asking for a handout. I didn't really mind. I didn't really care. I just, wanted to connect. So it was said that, he wanted to sit down with me. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. And it was a 2-year contract that he had proposed. And pretty much, if you give us a chance to like be your team, we can make that happen and pretty much go from there. And if it doesn't, nothing lost. So I'm like, okay, 2-year contract. I can pretty much write music how I please. Um, nothing gained, nothing lost. It's a try. And I don't know how long it took them. I don't know how long it took for them to finally connect me with 40, but it wasn't that long of a time. Big Ol' Meezy, shout out to Big Ol' Meezy. He actually was close with the CEO, and he's 40's right-hand man as well. So Big Ol' Meezy he was the one who suggested to play my music for 40, a time that they were kicking it. I don't know where they were going, to a restaurant or whatever, but he started to play my record in the car, and 40's like, who is that? And they're like, Voice, and she's from Sac and Blase. And he was like, I want to help her out. And they sat down with me for a second time and told me that the legend E-40 wanted to merge me with Sick Wid It Records. So that was really, really, really exciting for me that day. I was like, I couldn't close my mouth. My mouth, like my jaw was opened so far open. I was like, so that's how it happened. And he got on the phone with me that day. Don't ask me what he said because I'm still in shock. All I knew what was going through my mind was, ugh. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that was going through my mind. Like, I can't believe it. But he told me, we were going to try to get the ball rolling, and that, because he was, he's such a busy man, and, he tries to pour into artists every chance he gets. it is, you know, a bit of a challenge not to be there in person with the artist. So that was the CEO's job to, you know, um, I guess accommodate, you know, to whatever needed to be done as far as making sure my team was built and everything else, and putting out songs the right way and things like that. So, but yeah, that's how it happened.
Oh, that's one of a story right there. And
Yeah, I felt like I was talking forever. I'm sorry.
no. That was a good story, man. That's a, you know, not a lot of people know behind the scenes of how, you know, people link up with one another and how just one thing leads to another, which is literally
Yeah.
what happened. One thing
Yeah.
led to another and led to another, and then bam,
Yeah.
you was up there on the label. So what do you got in the works right now? So what are you working on?
Well, right now I am working on my internal health. No, well, that's all. That's everybody. But I am a mother, so I, you know, during this time frame, you know, having a son and he's about to turn 1, and my daughter's 11. You know, I'm a mother
Mm-hmm.
before anything. But as far as
Let's just
music,
say that look like you'll have an 11-year-old. Let me just say that. It was not when you said
yeah,
one, I was like, I could see that.
pretty,
And then you said 11, I was like, oh,
hold
that threw me
on,
for
wait a
a
minute, because
curveball right there.
you're real young. Yeah, I was pretty young. I was 17, you know, but um I'm 29, so I'm of age to have living through. Um, um, but as far as music, um, I'm a mom before anything. As far as music, I am working on the visuals to my second album. So I'm really excited about that. I have a sneak peek of a single that I've put on SoundCloud from my second album. So um, guys can go listen to that if you want to take a look at it. But just organizing how I want to bring it to life and, you know, um, pour into this visual. I'm really, really excited about the numbers that I feel like it's gonna do as far as just the vibe of the video and the song. So that's what I'm working on now, and possibly a Christmas album.
Oh, okay. Get a present for somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with your sound, who influenced you? Like who are you listening to growing up that you try to model your sound out after, or just influence you in your music in general?
So I'm not gonna forget her name this time. Lauryn Hill. I can't believe I was crazy enough to forget her name. Lauryn Hill, Alicia Keys for one. Just her voice, like I can relate to so much because I don't have a lot going on with my voice. It's just strong and, you know, it's strong and touching. And I think I related to her a lot. She was my favorite singer. Um, who else? Drake for sure. Just to like influence, just from listening to a song influencing me to bring out my feelings in more creative ways. um music Soul Child.
Oh, Music Soul Child, man. I haven't heard that name for a minute. Oh,
Loved him. I absolutely loved him. I still love him. Like the music that he created around my time, and the fact that I shouldn't have been on that level to understand, but I was. It just, you know, the heart behind my ears really made me, you know, attach to him very well when he, like, well, when I discovered him. Who else? I can't think of a lot of people right now. All I know is I fell in love with Kehlani when she first came out. But growing up, I would say those main people, the first people that I mentioned, and Common, and there was rappers, there was singers. I just don't remember right now.
no, you named a lot.
Those
That's
are the
that's a big collective of individuals that influenced your music. So, in regards to your music, who have you uh wanted to collab with? Like, if you had just one person in general, no matter whom it is, who would it be that person that you would want to do a song with?
Wow, that is such a hard decision because there is so many different.
Gotta choose one. Make it
Oh,
hard. So somebody's gonna be sad.
oh my goodness. I would say this is crazy. I cannot believe you're making me choose right now. This is
Yeah,
not right.
this one. Do it. Gotta do it.
Oh
Whoever
God.
else is hearing it, they're gonna be mad. They're like, oh, she didn't voice didn't choose me. Oh, okay.
I would say, dang it. I'm gonna say the first name that keeps popping in my head, and that's Drake right now.
Drizzy
It's
Drake,
Drake right
first name
now
Poppy.
because
Okay.
he's so creative with his feelings and the way that he tells the story. Like back in the day, Drake. Okay.
Mm,
And then just his little singy little self, like, he was like a kind of a singer on the verge. So I would
that's
say
right. Okay, for sure. So, I just gotta ask you a quick question. So, with everything that's going on in the world, so we're going to get a little serious right now.
okay.
Everything going on, election going on, been having protests going on. So, what's your whole uh vibe on Black Lives Matter and the protests that you've been seeing and stuff like that? Is that something that you support and get behind?
I do support it as far as, posting here and there. I guess I'm not vocal enough, mainly because I sometimes I get this thought in my head that God is telling me to build myself up and prepare myself, not necessarily be still to not be in the midst of it, but I want to be able to speak life into it and I want to be able to say the right things and I don't want to say the wrong things, um, especially having, family that's been the face of Black Lives Matter and um, just just how crazy it can be speaking up about something and you know you can be hated so fast and I'm not worried about people hating me. I'm just worried about people misunderstanding me and I guess that is kind of the same thing, so I would have to build myself up for that, but posting about it, I do as much as possible when I see it. It is definitely a repost as far as, when someone's treated unjustly or um, just not right. Um, as far as protesting, it's a scary thought to feel like you're a peaceful protester and that could be the end of your life, you
Mm,
know? And I just look at the fact that my kids need me, behind my four walls
mm,
and wherever their path may lead them. And it would suck to, for me not to be here, because I'm in that setting and it's not organized how it should be as far as something that should be peaceful. So
yeah,
it's
I know
crazy
what
to
you
think
mean.
that kids are in danger because people are taking their kids to protests and things like that. So I do feel strongly about it and I do support it 100%. um, I just haven't, I don't think that I've figured out for myself yet what sources that I know that is helpful towards this movement. I don't think I've figured out for myself yet where I want to dive into.
Well, everybody got their place. Not everybody's place is to go out there and protest. Not everybody's place is to speak up on it. There's things that people do behind the scenes. There's ways to support just
Yeah.
friends and family. There's yeah, there. To me, I always say there's never one right way to do something. As long as your heart and your minds is in the right place, then things will work out in its own. But I just got a real quick question. 'Cause I know you said that your family was the face of Black Lives Matter. What do you mean by that?
Stefan Clark is very close to my family. My little sister and my two little brothers, that is their blood cousin. And we grew up together. And, you know, I've never been taught in my family to feel like, oh, that's not my cousin because they're my sister's, my blood sister and brother's cousin. I was taught that this is your family, that's your cousin. Hey, y'all settle down. And we was taught in the same household, like as far as whenever we would visit each other or whatever. So Stephon Clark, as far as him being one of the many faces of Black Lives Matter movement. And yeah, it's crazy how so many people came out and they know this person, and everybody's fighting over, well, how this person, and then that's not even what matters. So it kind of made me want to, like, let me just be still, how God is asking me to be still, to build myself up, because I the main thing that matters is what we're standing for. It's not us going back and forth over, where were you when I was around this person? Like, that's silly to me. It's very silly. I have aunts and uncles to prove that I have a family nickname when I come around them. This is Nani, this is me, so
There's really no reason to prove anything.
yeah.
Especially, I mean, like you said, so many thousands nationwide was behind Stephon Clark, and it's not whether the people knew him or not. It was people understanding that what happened to him was unjust, and it's been happening to too many people, and understanding that we can't see and continue to see things like this happen to people who have families and kids and everything, and it affects everyone, whether you know them or not. Like, I never knew Stephon Clark, but I was out there protesting and marching right there for, justice to be served for him and stuff like that to not happen. So, to me, as long as your heart is in the right place, then it shouldn't matter where were you at,
Right.
last year when he was at the
Exactly.
7-Eleven or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Attending his candlelight and everybody just looking at me like, who the heck is she? And um, his family just embracing me. Like, that's really all that I need. I didn't come here for every face that I don't know. you know, I'm here to, pass on the condolences and support. And so it's really hard to just be in the midst of it, and people want to badger you about why you're here. It doesn't matter why I'm here, because I'm supporting. So that should be the only thing that matters, because we don't have enough people supporting the right ways. So we don't have enough people, initiating a structure or plan and things of that sort to, pour into this movement to make it peaceful and to make it, impact, and not just impact as far as it went viral, but impact as far as things are slowly changing.
Long standing, make sure that it goes beyond the tweet. It goes beyond, the post. It's something that keeps going for years on, and it keeps making that change that it should and is supposed to do. I get exactly what you mean. Man, I didn't mean to go so deep and saddening on that. My apologies.
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, life definitely, has its way of teaching, not just, you know, us in this interview, but people watching, or, so you're definitely fine. It's okay.
Appreciate that. Well, just a quick change of subject. So you said you had two kids, right? 11-year-old and a 1-year-old.
hmm
Yeah. Do you want them to get in music like how you are, or do you want them to get away from you? It's like, nah, this is something I don't want them to be part of.
Honestly, it's not something that I feel like they shouldn't get into if they ever were. And I can say right now my daughter is into music and she has made her first single. We haven't worked on putting it out or distributing it,
Mm.
but she definitely has an amazing voice, and I feel like she's going to be a better singer than me, but she loves to dance more than she likes to sing, so she is a dancer at heart. As for my son, it's just so funny hearing him trying to hold a note and he could barely even talk. All he's saying is mama, dada, and no. Like, so I mean, I know that it's going to be embedded in them. It is definitely going to be a part of their life because of me. But I would want them to know for sure that, you know, how they want to dive into it if they did want to make it a career or something serious.
Mm. Well, I mean, you're in the industry as well, so at least they have a you know, a heads up. They got, you know, you could direct them in the good paths because as you
Right.
know, the music industry has a lot of dark sides to it, you
Oh, yeah.
know. There's a lot of shadowy corners, if you may say, on that one. But no, that's what's I got a 6-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. And my 6-year-old daughter, she's very much into music. She just loves singing all the time, just every single time. She just wants to play music. And my 1-year-old son takes my phone and just plays music and just I put on music, he's just quiet. He'll scream, I play music, he's just set. And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, that's you. Do you? Works out for me. But no, that is cool. Well, you know, I don't want to keep you on. I know we've been on for a while, so I know you're a busy woman, got things to do. Let people know where they could get in contact with you, where they could catch your music, or if they want to just follow you on, you know, all the social medias and stuff.
Yes, for sure. So my main page on Instagram is Voice with Two Eyes. And I do have a Twitter that is official voice, again with two eyes. Um, I do have a SoundCloud, so that's www.soundcloud.com is it / voice with two eyes.
One of those
So
slashes. They'll figure it out. They know.
right. I do have a YouTube, and that is Voice with Two Eyes. However, it is very hard to find my YouTube because of the show, The Voice. So
Yeah.
you might have to type in one of my songs. But um, yeah, there should be more content on my YouTube coming pretty soon. Yeah. So it shouldn't be that hard to find, but I am mainly on Instagram. So Voice with Two Eyes. You want to send me beats? Hey, I take those all day. Voice at yahoo.com.
And can they catch is your music all on Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that too?
I have about, I want to say 3 songs on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere else. That would be BIH by Voice with Two Eyes. Hole Up, HOLUP. Of course, you would look it up under my name. And then Thirst Trap. It should be all just one word. Yeah, Thirst Trap. And look at that up under my name. And I think that's the only couple songs that are distributed right now. Yeah.
Okay, that is what's up. Well, Voice, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Once when this whole COVID thing is done with, I will have you in the studio. Uh, Obviously, we just can't have guests up in this thing because everything that's popping off. But once when all this thing
Right.
is done and over, we got to come through again. We got to sit down, have an in-person interview, and all that other good stuff. And by then, you have your Christmas album done.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, that was the beautiful and talented Voice. We'll Choppin' Up Game with this Natomas Slimm, and I'm out. Song on and you know it hit. If they play it all night, we gon' keep it lit. Fresh flat, I just sweat it out. We ain't gonna be cute, we gonna shut it down.